the Minding Your Business podcast with me, your host, Champ Ron, here on January the 10th, 2020. We're here for episode number 124. My great frat brother here as we celebrate our fraternity, that is 1 Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Yesterday on January 9th, we celebrated our 106th year of brotherhood, scholarship, and service as our Founders Day. So it's great to have a great fraternity brother, great business owner, great philanthropist, great author, great now TV show host, podcaster with Revamp, and Mr. Know Your Worth, Aaron Jordan, joins us here. Check it out.
What we do here is go back.
Exact same way.
Oh,
the
wow.
Exact same way. And when I say the exact same way, the only difference is that it was with a different woman. That was it. That's it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that I did not blame myself. I blamed them. I was like, man, there's something wrong with y'all because everything is getting the same way. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm cool. I'm cool. How people used to say, I'm cool as a fan.
Right.
But when I'm pointing the finger at them, guess how many fingers I got pointing back at me? I got 3.
Right.
So it's like when I came to grips with that, and I went through a period of depression. I almost committed suicide twice, man.
Oh,
and
man.
So those things there that I dealt with brought me full circle. Because at the time, I didn't go to therapy. I didn't have pretty much anybody I can talk to. Like you have a lot of people now where you can actually call and get resources and deal with your issues. So this is one thing where I say that I had a calling on my life because it was at that moment when I was in my darkest moment that my Creator spoke to me, man.
Man.
So I don't want to infringe on any religions or anything like that by speaking about Christianity or anything like that, but I'm just saying, I'm at this point that I have a platform that I talk about it, and I tell people, like, this is what did it for me. You know? My Creator, He spoke to me, man, and then at that point on, I started writing. I didn't know it was going to turn into a whole relationship book or anything like that. People start asking me for advice from a male's perspective.
Yeah.
But I was very unbiased in that advice because I looked at it from both sides. And so I started writing, and all that information looked like 7 months down the line, I had pages and pages of information and things that literally turned into a book. And you know, I was actually working for an airline at the time.
Okay.
Before I relocated here to Nashville. And so, and I'm pretty sure they'll probably listen to. People that know me, they know this story. I actually wrote that book while working at an airline.
Wow.
And so when I wrote my first book, it was some things that happened when I transitioned here to Nashville. As soon as I got here to Nashville, I was done with the book. Right before I left Memphis, I got picked up by a publisher. At that time, because I was marketing the book like 6 months before I was even done with it, because my background is marketing and branding.
Yeah.
And so I moved here. I instantly went on like a 7-city tour to like 7 different cities.
Wow.
It was on my own dime, my own expense, and I put that together. And from that, I gauged a lot of traction. In the first city I went to, and I'm just going to be transparent, there was only 3 people there. The second city I went to, there was only 12.
Mm-hmm.
From those 12 people that was there in that second city was a founder and CEO of a national conference out of California.
Okay.
My story resonated with him, so now I speak at his conference every year. I've been doing that for the last 5 years.
Mm.
And so, and from that, I went from Binge into radio. Went from doing TV interviews and got hit with having a radio opportunity where I can have my own radio platform. Live radio. I started out on this AM station here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And so with AM stations, they don't get high frequency a lot.
Right.
But with me, I knew about placement. So what the programming, I owned the rights to my programming on the radio. I had them recording it and everything like that. And so I took that programming and I negotiated deals in other markets. I was in four cities in Florida. I was actually in Dallas for a while. I was in Chicago for a minute, and then I was in Atlanta for a minute. So That's like 7 to 8 different markets there of listenership off one AM station.
Mm.
And I built that listenership and then following up to probably about 1.2 million listeners, man. So that's pretty much how I really grew my following to where it is now, where people know me across social media and things of that nature.
Yep, no doubt about it. Our guest today, Mr. Aaron Jordan, my fraternity brother, great brother, well-known, an award-winning author, media personality, speaker, relationship coach, philanthropist, everything that this brother does, Mr. Know Your Worth here on the Minding Your Business podcast. So, Aaron, man, you gave us a lot to unpack even just right there. How did you manage the mental state? Because you mentioned about having, challenged relationships and, how you put the accountability off on other people, and then you realized it was yourself, man. And then, even to the point of ready to take your own life on multiple occasions. How did you manage the mental state? Because to me, that's the power of what you just said is, I think it's easy to get caught into the results of it. But I'm curious as to, man, how did you manage the mental state to even go to other markets where you've got 10 and 12 people, and it just so happens that you catch the right relationship, which I want to get to in a second, the importance of that for the listening audience. But walk us through the mental mind state of that, brother.
I was ready to give up like every day. And the thing about it is that I made a commitment that I don't care if it's one person in the room or one person listening to me speak. I'm going to speak as if I'm speaking to thousands of people. Yeah. And there was times that it was 3 people in the room. I remember I went to a book. I did a book signing where was that? I was in Atlanta. I did a book signing there after an event. And I did one in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And the one in Tullahoma, Tennessee, never been to Tullahoma, Tennessee at all.
Yeah.
I got better results from that particular event than I did to the one I did in Atlanta. In Atlanta, only 3 people at that event, and only one person bought a book. I did a book signing in Tullahoma. I'd never been to Tullahoma, and it was this place called I think it was Books A Million, if I'm not mistaken. And so never been to Tullahoma, Tennessee, and I set up shop. And the love that I was shown there from that, people come to, hey, you look familiar. What's your name? And I actually had people that actually Googled me right there in the place and said, yeah, I know you. I saw you on TV. This, thing, and the third. So it's just like you never know, because when you're in that mode of wanting to give up, something always happens to have that spark back.
Yeah.
And that happens time and time again. So once you make that commitment and you stick to that commitment, the thing about it is time. Time exceeds all.
Yes.
If you put the time in, if you put the grind, the grunt work, go through those dark moments, go through those moments of you wanting to give up, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta get there. You're gonna cry. Because I cried plenty of times.
No doubt about it. I know what that is.
Because I was putting more money in as far as purchasing books, traveling. I was paying for hotels, paying for venue spaces, paying for airtime, paying for this, paying for that. but I wasn't receiving a return.
Right.
And so it was at a moment when I was about to quit. I'll tell you a direct reflection on when I was about to quit.
Yeah.
I was on the AM station, even though I had these other markets, right?
Right.
My goal was I wanted to build the brand to a point where I can get on an FM station. And so it actually, I had the show for like 3 years. I was paying for these airtime spots in these other markets. And it wasn't really seem like anything was, even though I had the following, I wanted to, it was just something in my mind, I wanted to be on the FM station.
Yeah.
Because now I can have that up under my belt and on my resume and things of that nature. And I was about to quit I was about to toss in the towel on the show. But I made a connection with the GM of the radio station here, with it's called the Cromwell Group, and they ran a station here on the FM station, man. And I did a 3-month contract deal with them on an FM station, bigger market, bigger platform, locally, where I went from a 30-minute show to a 4-hour show live during prime time on the weekends, man. So, and that was the thing about it that made me so elated about it. It wasn't something, like with radio stations, they already have their built-in programming, and they bring people in to host that particular programming, right?
Right.
This was something that I came up with from scratch, based on the brand. My brand is Know Your Word. And as a cliche statement, I took that and I made a brand out of it.
Right.
And I had the Know Your Words radio show. So that was something that I brought to the table with the following and with my brand. And they put that show in prime time on an FM station every Saturday for 3 months before they changed up the platform of the station.
Yeah.
So it's just staying in there, staying in the fight. Because the thing is, if you got word that, like, okay, what you're doing is going to change lives, you only need that validation from one person.
Right.
And that's your creator.
Yep.
Everything else is null and void. All you got to do is just stay in there and fight, no matter what you go through.
Yeah, no doubt about it, brother. And so 2 words I jotted down, man, with what you were saying was endurance and commitment. And you used the word commitment several times. And that's what I heard. And MYB, that's what I'd share with you as best practices as you listen to Aaron. And you have to endure those tough times. And you may not can see it right now today. You heard Aaron's story, but you may not see it in your walk right now today. But you've got to have the endurance. You got to be tenacious, and you got to keep going. Aaron was in rooms with 1, 2, and 3 people. And now he's got, over 1 million followers. That's endurance. That's all that is. And you notice you didn't hear, there was no Puffy. There was no, you know what I mean? There was no Master P that came and boosted him up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Straight grind right here.
Yeah, exactly. So I just want people to know where it wasn't, there's nothing, and shout out to people, there's nothing wrong if Puffy shows up and wants to put a platform behind you, or Dame Dash or something like that. But, you notice in Aaron's story, there was none of that. It was, like you said, it was grind work. It was grit. It was the endurance to just keep going, and then making the commitment to then keep going. And a lot of times people don't do those 2 things. They don't have the endurance, and then they don't make the commitment, even in the face of the adversity. And man, so that's powerful what you just shared, man. I think that's going to help a lot of people.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, man, let's get into relationships, brother. So, you mentioned, people coming to you, looking for a man's perspective, on relationships. So, what's kind of your relationship philosophy? I know I had a chance to read your one of your more recent books, the 2nd edition there, The Power Within, A Woman's Worth, from Both Sexes. Again, that's by Aaron Jordan. Make sure you pick that up on Amazon, and actually, in the show notes, you'll have a link to be able to connect with Aaron and purchase his books. And I encourage you, MYB, to do that so you can get more of this great information. But Aaron, what's your philosophy, man, on relationships?
Well, really, what I tell a lot of people, I say, once you understand that relationships and dating and that whole process is more spiritual than it is physical, I think then you'll start to grasp some things. The reason why I say it's more spiritual than it is physical, because you're dealing with a lot of things subconsciously when you're dealing with people. And let me break that down for you. So if you're in one relationship, let's take this person. They were in this relationship for 2 years, and for God forbid something happened, they broke up and all that. So now they're back on the market, right?
Right.
So typically, a lot of people they give themselves maybe 2 months, 3 months max, and then they use this philosophy or this ideology of using other people to get over the next person. So what you don't understand is that using that philosophy is that you're actually piling emotions on top of emotions. So if you move on too fast and not deal with the hurt, deal with your pain, and give yourself time to heal, then what you're going to do, you're going to attract the very same thing that you left.
Right.
The very same thing that you left. It's going to come. It's going to be attracted to you subconsciously. But the thing about it is that it's going to be dressed up differently. It's going to be dressed up. It's going to have that outer appearance differently than what you're used to. And then when you fall for that, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt 10 times worse, and it's going to actually push you further and further away from your God's gift. And your God's gift is that person that's specifically designed for you, that you have to actually be prepared to receive. See, a lot of people want to say, like, I'm waiting for my knight in shining armor. I'm waiting for
right.
My Prince Charming and things of that nature. But just think about what you're asking for.
Right.
You know, the person that's specifically designed for you is probably been around you for like the last 10 years, waving at you, saying like, "Hey, I'm right here," but you can't see that person, or can't. That person can't see you because your runway is real foggy. You got all your baggage and all that stuff is in the way because you're constantly piling emotions on top of emotions on top of emotions, dealing with other people and not actually dealing with your hurt. So the biggest thing, my biggest philosophy or takeaway is that relationships are more spiritual than it is physical. All you have to do is just do the work and sit at the table and face your pain. And it's not just saying sit at the table and face your hurt when you're dealing with other people in relationships, but also you got generational curses that hinder relationships as well.
Yes.
You got to deal with all that stuff, man. That hinders a lot of things.
Yeah, and Brother Aaron, you know, one of the things that I see that I wanted to get your take on along with that is I think one of the things that hinders people in relationships is they have so many preconceived notions about what they quote unquote like. And so you see this with younger people. They say, well, this is what I like. And, you know, this person, and they pull out a scroll that goes all the way up and down, up and down the street. Yeah. That, well, he's got to have this or she's got to have that. And what I think happens that even what happens is those lists start to evolve as people get older and have different experiences. But, you know, one of the critical things when you talk about like romantic relationships that lead to, secure relationships that ultimately lead to a commitment and marriage and that sort of thing is that I see so many people with all this criteria. And it's not about, lowering your standards. That's the first thing somebody gonna say. Oh, you asking me to lower my standards. No, but you have such this list and it's so limited and people want so much from each other. Like you'll see women, I think a lot, you'll come across women that want a brother to be, they want him to be T.I. and a Barack Obama. Or or men that want women to be Michelle Obama and Meg Thee Stallion. You know what I mean? You want to be Claire Huxtable and you want to be Nicki Minaj in one woman. And then you want the man to be, 50 Cent and, pick whoever, somebody else, that contrasts that all in one person. And nobody's going to be that. Everybody has to be themselves. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so and it's funny you should bring that up because I have this conversation all the time. And so I tell people, I said, when you come and write down your list of your must-haves, and look at that list. And when you start, if everything on your list is more of a physical or is more so physical and materialistic, then I want you to turn around and look at yourself. And look at yourself and say, okay, well, do I myself have everything that I'm asking for on this list? That's all. That's pretty much it. Because now, when you look at yourself, now you're taking that off the table. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get in a relationship, a person can have everything that you're looking for, but when you get in that relationship, then they have abandonment issues. Then they have rejection issues. Then they have domestic violence history in their past. So it's things that you have to look at more so than, like I said, like the physical, the material, and things like that. You have to actually tap into that subconscious aspect too. And so how you tap into that subconscious aspect is based on conversation, energy, being around that person, and just having that conversation. You're not going to know all that just by like, oh my goodness, girl, he looks so cute. Dang, bro, man, did you see her over there across
Right.
and then James, you looking at her, but then on top of that, you don't know that, like, she crazy.
Right.
Or you don't know that he himself has a history of abuse.
Right.
You don't know that. Because a person can actually show you their representation. They can keep their representation going for so long, however long they need to actually get what they need from you. That's how long a person can show you their representation. And then when they finally got you in that commitment, then now the walls are coming down. You're actually seeing their real person. And when you see the real person, now it's too late.
Yep, exactly. Definitely, exactly. Brother Aaron Jordan here on the Minding Your Business podcast. And in the show notes, MYB, you can get everything that you need to get connected and plugged in with this movement. And so, you know, as you documented this, Brother Aaron, man, in your books. And I mentioned earlier about the recent edition, man, I appreciate the autograph. Because I know it's got value already today, man, just having that. But it's called The Power Within, A Woman's Worth from Both Sexes. Is that some of, you know, what you just mentioned? Is that and more some of what people can expect when they read the book?
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite chapters in the book that a lot of people give raves about is a chapter. It's called 30-Minute Love.
Yeah, I know that.
It's talking about the whole instant gratification of affection, the whole instant gratification of love, the whole instant gratification of validation. And I use an analogy of it's called the microwave effect. How we don't take the time to actually prepare our food. We don't take the time to actually go to the store to get the necessary ingredients. We take the shortcut. We'll get what we can. Actually put it in the microwave for a minute, 30 seconds, or 30 seconds, or whatever. We're done, and we're ready to eat, sit down, watch our favorite meal. So we apply that same analogy to our love life. You know what I'm saying? We want this ready-made love connection, and not want to go through the process. We don't want to go through those steps. We want to go from meet, greet, hey, how you doing? Boom, let's go down the aisle. You know.
Right.
Or what have you. But the thing is, you need those necessary steps in the middle to draw factual conclusions about who I'm with. Are we compatible? Do he or she meet my needs on a more so than a physical level? Do they meet my needs on a spiritual level? Do they meet my needs on an emotional level? So there's a lot of things that goes into play that we want to look at after the fact. So there's a lot of great information in there, and give out case studies too as well.
Yep, no doubt about it. And so encourage everybody to definitely go out MYB and pick up the book. There's going to be great nuggets for you and great things that you can pick up and learn that'll help you in your walk, in your relationship, whether you're currently in a committed relationship or you're seeking a committed relationship with another individual. You need to be able to connect and get info and insight from people like our guest today, Aaron Jordan. So, Aaron, let's get into also in connection with this, Revamp. Tell us about, Revamp. It's the online relationship workshop that you got going on that's, coming up to launch. And then also talk about the podcast associated with it, man, with Revamp the podcast.
Oh, yeah. So, when Revamp came, I was thinking about other things that I can do to materials that I can have for people, because when you're speaking and when you're traveling and things like that, you get pulled in so many different directions, and so people can't always be accessible to you if you're traveling and things like that and want your time. So I came up with this online relationship workshop called Revamp, and it's talking about a few key principles. It's a video workshop. It's right about 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so. But I dive in deep into detailed information about certain things that you can look for, or use before actually getting into that next relationship. Because a lot of times people, they break up with someone, then they go out and they get with the homeboys or they get with the homegirls, they go on a night out and say, I'm single for the night or whatever. But then after that, they go home and now they're trying to figure out, how do I move on, or how do I process this? So with this workshop, it's on my website, aaronjordanjr.com/revamp, and it's on there. You can actually purchase it from the website. You can sit right there in the comfort of your own home or on any of your handheld devices and actually get that information. And you pay for it one time, and you have unlimited streams on top of that.
Excellent. And then with the podcast associated with that, you started that up. Is that kind of the same premise as well?
Yes. So with the podcast, how I came up with the podcast is my last live show that I did on the radio was in April of 2017. That's how long I've been off the radio. So that's about almost 3 years.
Right.
And I just took all that and I started doing videos on Instagram, and I started putting them on Facebook and stuff like that about giving out maybe these 60-second quick relationship tips for the day, or just quick nuggets for the day. And I usually release that maybe every other day. And so what I did is that I said, okay, well, I miss radio, so I started going back and be with these radio execs and trying to pitch the show again. But then I noticed that a lot of people are just on their phone listening to podcasts.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, let's take this to the podcast or whatever. And so, make a long story short, Revamp the podcast is basically like a 3 to 5 minute segment where I'm giving detailed relationship information in those 3 to 5 minutes. I don't do any interviews or anything with anybody, but it's just a quick little nugget or quick little jump to jumpstart your day or your week or what have you, where you can go and get content of inspiration, content around relationships and things like that. Just like how we need motivational pick-me-ups, and we'll go to YouTube and we'll listen to that maybe 6-minute video of that'll get us hyped or things like that. It's the same effect with the podcast. Is that you can go here and you can get that information, get that knowledge. You can be accessible to me, and I'm not even in your city, or I'm not even in your state, or I'm not even in your country, and you can get that information of just those relationship topics. Like the one I just released, my latest episode was called "Admit You Are Broken."
Right. Yep, I saw that. I listened to that one just that. Yeah, I listened to that one earlier.
Yeah, so I had someone reach out to me on Instagram, and I do on Instagram. I do these questions, Q&As, where I put up where people ask me questions about relationships, and so I get them from all across the United States, all across the country. So this lady, she was from Australia, actually, believe it or not. She asked a question. She said, "At what point in your healing process, or what point is it safe to admit that you are broken.
Mm.
And so that took me back because I never had anybody ask me that question before. And I'm glad she asked, because now I had to go down in the chamber and really pull out some profound advice on that. But it really made me think, and I said, okay, this would be real great for a podcast episode, because people need to understand, at that very moment that you're able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm broken, you've already started your healing process, because now you admitted it.
Right.
So now you subconsciously broke down those walls and the things that's actually subconsciously stagnating you from moving forward. Because once you can admit something and stop holding on to it or whatever, you can now put yourself in position to heal.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the premise of the podcast, is just getting those little quick nuggets, those 3 to 5 minute inspirational tips or relationship tips that'll really help you to like kind of guide. And it's putting like a smorgasbord of content all in one place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so, even, listen to the podcast with the things that you do, Aaron, man, and even in the book, when I read the book, first thing right out the gate is you have a dedication. And, you speak to, and you have a dedication to your daughter. And, I'm someone obviously that's got 3 daughters. At NYB, you know that. And so family is very important to me. How important is family to you, Aaron?
Our family is everything, man. That's your legacy.
Yeah.
When you think about it, man, like I tell people, like, I always go back to this comment that Terry Crews made, man, when I was, and I always follow and I always listen for people that have been they've been married for X amount of years, 30 years, and they went through the trenches. They went through the trenches of hardship. They went through the trenches of everything that you can think of in a relationship. So he had this one comment. He said that, man, his wife was with him when he was broke, when he didn't have nothing. He said, so when he became well off and he became in a position where the family was good, he made it his mission to provide and give her everything. So I look at that as same thing with family. See, the thing is that, we as men, we're leaders. We're born to be leaders. You know what I'm saying? And we're born as the head. So not being in not in like a domineering way or anything like that. But that's where our mindset is. It's like, how can we provide generational wealth for our family in an aspect of, from a spiritual level, from a wealth perspective, from just setting up everything. So that's what my mindset is. And so when I think about my wife and my daughter is my legacy. You know what I'm saying? So even though right now some of the things that I do, she may not understand, but when she gets to that in college, or when she gets in like high school, and when she'll be in high school next year, Lord heaven, please. But when she gets there, right, she'll be able to have all of this information, all this content, where she can understand. Where, like, okay, this is what my daddy meant when he said, like, these boys, all they think about is one thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is what my daddy meant when he was telling me about, okay, he wants me to have my own thing, or he wants me to be independent and not depend on certain people for anything. And so she'll have all this information. Then the biggest thing about it is she'll have a positive outlook of what a man is supposed to be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That role model.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she'll have that experience of like, okay, well, my daddy did it like this. My daddy, his work ethic was times 10. Okay, well, your work ethic, you won't even get out of bed to go across the street and work at McDonald's. So no, I'm not going to be with you. I'm not going to spend my time with you. So it's just that family, man. That's it. That's your legacy, man.
Yeah.
That's your legacy. That's it.
No doubt about it, man. And you just laid it out plain and simple, brother. Man, listen, Brother Aaron, man, I appreciate you taking time, man, here on the Minding Your Business podcast. And, man, how can people get in touch with you? I know you mentioned AaronJordanJr.com. Is that the best way for people to connect with you, man, to your social media?
Yeah, so that's my website information. You can also go to on my social media platform, on Instagram. You can go to Mr. Know Your Worth on Instagram, but in between each letter put an underscore. Somebody else had Mr. Know Your Worth. It was for taxes or whatever, but that's here nor there. But but you can go there on that platform. Of course, on Twitter, you can go to search Aaron Jordan, or you can just Google me and it'll pop up all my social media handles where you can actually locate me too. And then also, we're getting ready to in March, man, and I know a lot of people have been asking about this.
Yeah.
Getting ready to for the premiere of my TV show, man. So I'm real excited about that. I'm real ecstatic about that, actually. It's been 2 years in the making for that. It's finally coming to fruition. Got a great relationship with CTN Network. Also, potentially got a national deal on the table as well, depending on how this first season goes. So, I mean, be on the lookout for that. I always publicize that as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely. And where will people be able to find you? I know you mentioned the station. Is that where people will be able to find the show? And when will it come on times?
Yeah, so it's going to premiere in March. We're shooting for March 7th. The first is going to be each and every Saturday on the Christian Television Network.
Yeah,
and it's going to be in over 30 counties. It's about 1.4 million households.
Yeah.
But if you're outside of that market, you can also live stream it on the website as well. And so I'll actually send that information to you, where you can send it out to your listeners as well.
Yeah,
the live stream and all that stuff. Just stay up to date.
Yep, absolutely. We definitely want to do that. And then, brother, as it's launching and we're doing some different things, man, we want to have you back on to talk about, some of the things and some of your experiences, man, with doing the TV show, because, that's definitely a big step, man. That's definitely a huge step, and we're definitely proud of your accomplishments, man, and what you're doing. And so today,
gotta represent from Memphis, man. Memphis born, so gotta represent, man.
Yep, no doubt about it. MYB, our guest today, Aaron Jordan, Mr. Know Your Worth. Connect with him, AaronJordanJr.com, and you'll see everything there for your social media. He's got everything, again, consistent branding. Everything's all right there, convenient for you to connect with him. Reach out to him, let him know you heard him here on the Minding Your Business podcast, and just send him a positive line of encouragement. Because when you're out here doing your own thing, anybody, any of us, but your family, man, you're out here doing this. Sometimes you just need to send people, just send them a positive line and just say, man, hey, brother, keep going. And I'm sure that will be well received. So, listen, Brother Aaron, again, go Mom, brother. Belated Happy Founders Day to you. Best wishes to you and your family on a healthy and prosperous 2020, brother.
Likewise, man. Go Mob, man.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later, Fred.
Likewise, man.
All right, brother. Peace. That was Brother Aaron Jordan Jr. here, AaronJordanJr.com, Mr. Know Your Worth, philanthropist, author, podcaster, speaking personality, now going to be TV show host. So make sure that you all connect with him, MYB, and let him know that you heard this on the Minding Your Business podcast. This is Champ Ron, the Minding Your Business podcast. You can catch us at themybpodcast.com. You can get apparel merch. You can connect with all of our various episodes and connect with me there. Email me, ron@themybpodcast.com. Of course, we're powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to my business partner, Dominic Lawson, on the Startup Life podcast, our flagship podcast there on the Binge. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day, and we're going to catch you next time. Entrepreneurship, real estate, trending news. There's no business like minding your own. Peace.
What we do here is go back.
Loud.